how did hippos become a thing, bro? What is it with vegetarians becoming this absolute unit of a flesh body? You guys ever see a UPS truck? Imagine if one of those fell on you, because that's pretty much what a hippo falling on you would be like. These things can weigh up to 10,000 pounds, dude. And they eat plants. And I was looking into this, they were like, you know, hippos don't actually really eat that much. Turns out they eat about 150 pounds of food a day. And now I guess on the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot because that's like 1 to 2% of their body weight. But they're like, yeah, they don't really eat a lot. Dude, imagine if you had to eat 150 pounds of grass a day. Like, how do they even find that shit? They live in Africa. Y'all remember Hungry Hungry Hippos, bro? Remember that commercial? Hungry Hungry Hippos! Hungry Hungry Hippos! Yeah, they weren't fucking kidding, dude. Just look at the shape of these fucking things. So hippos spend most of their time in the water, but they can't swim, nor can they float. They do this fucking hilarious thing where they just like glide across the water, you know, they just like skip along. For how big these things are, evidently, they are fast as fuck. Wanna take a quick guess at how fast these things can run? About 30 fucking miles per hour, dude. In the water, too. They can do 30 miles per hour in the fucking water. You really don't want to fuck with these things, man. These things kill more people per year than lions. It's for a couple reasons. One, look at them. Duh. Two, look at these things' jaws, dude. They have a bite force of 2,000 pounds per square inch. You guys ever see one of those videos of hippos eating fucking watermelons, bro? Imagine if that was your head. No shot, bro. They're extremely territorial. They're very aggressive, especially when you're around their young. If you see a mother and a fucking baby hippo, don't go near. Actually, if you see a hippo, don't even go near it. I don't even care if it's next to a baby or anything. They don't fuck around, bro. They live in Africa. Africa's pretty rough, you know? They live with like crocodiles and shit, and they don't give a fuck. They don't care about crocodiles. Yeah, sometimes they take their young and stuff, and occasionally they'll take down an old withered hippo, but they don't care. They just live in the water with fucking dinosaurs. No big deal. So while they only really live in Africa, there's actually a couple of them in Colombia, and it's kind of a weird story. You know Pablo Escobar? You know, the drug dude? Well, he actually really liked animals. He kept giraffes, elephants, some other animals like hippos. And when he was killed in '93, the Colombian government seized all of his assets, basically everything, including his animals, which some of them are transferred to zoos and aquariums. But 4 of his hippos were left over to fend for themselves, and those 4 made their way into the Colombia waterways and started to reproduce. So like the government was like, no, we don't want these things. It's terrible for our environment. They're not supposed to be here. But the people were like, fuck that, bro. We want these hippos. Look at them. Like, just look at these. Why do you want to get... Just look at them. We want that. We keep that. So hippos actually sound pretty fucking funny. They kind of sound like they ate way too much food and they're really uncomfortable. And I'm not sure if they're laughing, but it honestly kind of sounds like they're laughing. I mean, listen to this shit. So hippos have shower sex, which if you ask me, terrible idea. Water is not a good lubricant, but hey, I'm not one to judge. Hippos like to do their thing in the water, most likely due to the fact that that's where they're most protected. If you encounter a hippo on the land, he might actually run away from you, but he'll probably just run straight for the water, where he basically says, come fuck with me, bro. You will not win in here. Even though he could probably just, you know, end your life, regardless of where he is. He could be in space and he could fuck you up. And I know you were all wondering, you guys like, Scuffed, when are you gonna start talking about the poop? Here it is, boys. Guess what? Guess what these things do to mark their territory? They just fling their shit everywhere, dude. They just fucking, they rip a huge one and they do a little like helicopter thing with their fucking tail and they just fling it everywhere to mark their territory. It's honestly one of the most beautiful displays of shitting in the animal kingdom. So, you know, being super big doesn't always come with its perks, you know? Being that size, you got a lot of surface area, and a lot of surface area means that you're kind of prone to some skin damage due to the sun. But the hippos, they evolved. They, you know, they're fucking take on crocodiles. You think the sun's gonna stop them? Fuck no, dude. You know what they do? They don't have sweat glands, but what they do have is this little, like, oily shit that they pump out of their skin, and it's, like, pinkish kinda, and it's basically just a natural sunblock. So if one hippo didn't scare you, how about 200 fucking hippos? Because these things like to travel in packs. Well, it's not actually called a pack. There's actually a few names that a group of hippos goes by, and my favorite one by far is called the Siege of Hippos. If someone was like, hey dude, you got one animal to pick, you get 200 of them, what animal you picking? Like, no one's gonna fuck with me if I got a Siege of Hippos, bro. Like, if someone was gossiping like, hey, whose territory should we take over next? Like, oh, let's take over Scuff's fucking territory. And then someone's gonna be like, nah, dude, he's got a Siege of Hippos. Like, no one's gonna fuck with you, bro. That's probably why Pablo Escobar had hippos. Like, who's gonna take on a hippo? Nevertheless, 200 of them. You know that word, hippopotamonstrosiquipedalophobia? Yeah, that word has nothing to do with hippos. It's literally just a fear of long words, and that's fucking hilarious, dude. Whoever made that's such a dick, and I approve. So you've heard of hippos. Have you heard of pygmy hippos, dude? They're cute as fuck, man. They're just these little tiny little hippos. It's just a hippo with dwarfism. It's fucking awesome, dude. Unfortunately, they're endangered. Like, imagine if you had a pygmy hippo, a pygmy horse, a pygmy pig. Like, imagine if you had, oh man, that'd be awesome, dude. So hippos can actually hold their breath underwater for about 4 to 5 minutes. And they sleep underwater too. Like, literally, they fully submerge their bodies underwater when they sleep. Subconsciously, they just float up, breathe, and fall back down. They're still sleeping while they do this. It's like how we breathe in our sleep. We don't wake up from it. We don't gotta think about it. They just do it. How? I don't know. Fucking hippo magic? I don't know. So if you've seen videos or photos of hippos, oftentimes you'll see these birds on their back. Turns out that these things have like a mutually beneficial relationship. And these things are called oxpeckers. No, not because they look like the dick of an ox, but because they peck on ox-like animals. You know, they go on big mammals and they pick their backs for insects and shit like that. But it does kind of fuck with the hippo a little bit, because when they peck them, it actually causes lacerations in their skin, which inevitably can lead to infections. I mean, just look how dirty this water is. Something tells me there's some bacteria and parasites lurking around in those waters. So I think the oxpeckers get the better end of the deal, because the hippo can't really do much to prevent it. So they kind of just sits there, takes it. I don't know, maybe they like it. Maybe the bugs suck, I don't know. I think I'm going to give these things a 90 on the reincarnation scale, because if I were to be born a hippo, I think it would fit my lifestyle pretty well, you know? You're just kind of just lamping around, just eating shit all day, not really giving a fuck about anything. But if something comes near you, you do want to kind of fuck with it, especially if it's near your young. And if something does want to fuck with you, it pretty much has a 0% chance of winning unless there's like 100 of whatever it is fucking with you. I mean, hippos are basically a wrecking ball that could run 30 miles per hour with the bite force of a fucking alligator. I mean, eating 150 pounds of grass a day doesn't sound too fun, but apparently they like it, so I don't know, maybe I just want to fling my shit at people.